grape.
Happy Mondays. Black grape. Never mind. So yeah, the title of this video is, let me remind myself, why become a reseller and what do we recommend about it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you want to scroll
basically.
down and see if there's anyone in the live chat?
No, because it will show up.
Okay.
So yeah, basically, let's just address first and foremost the elephant in the room, which is terrible sales weekend. So I've read several comments of you from people saying this weekend was terrible.
Yeah.
The walking bread, someone's commented this, yes. Walking bread.
Groans.
But yeah, so basically it's been a terrible sales weekend for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
supposedly I've seen in chats on other videos and all this, that eBay was doing some kind of update on Thursday last week that affected people's sales from Friday onwards, basically. Yeah. So that's kind of, a reason. I mean, it is terrible.
eBay are always tinkering and messing about, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit poor that they kind of affected things over a payday weekend, though,
Yeah, I
to be
know.
fair. But there's been a lot of glitches on eBay recently. So there's been, if you've noticed on the app, there's been a lot on the app.
Yeah.
There's been some on the desktop as well, I've noticed, actually. Hopefully it's fixed some of the glitches, but unfortunately it's meant that people are lost out on money.
Yeah. I mean, unless, has anyone out there had a fantastic weekend of sales? Is it? I mean, I know that there's, everyone I've spoken to has said it's been either awful or worse than normal.
Yeah.
I've not spoken to anyone who's had a fantastic weekend of sales, so.
And obviously this, for us, because we edited quite a lot of our listings the week before last, so we were doing a lot of editing, we were doing a lot of inventorying, and then, we had like a double sales weekend, which was nice, but then to follow it with a hardly any sales. But we will be doing a picking video, actually. We'll pick the orders out and show you what precisely we sold in a video end of the week. So yeah. But yeah, back onto topic, which is why we became resellers, really, and then what we would recommend about it. Yes. So if anyone would like to comment as we go along as well, that would be nice. We have 10 people in at the moment, I see, but if you want to comment as we go along, we will be monitoring the comments, shall we say, for stuff we can answer if you've got any questions or whatever.
Yeah. Much, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So shall I
go?
You I'll go first. Yeah. So basically, before we set up this shop and went full time doing this, I was working in administration. Mm. So that's why I think I've taken on a lot of the more administrative tasks in what we do. So we now lost a watcher, by the way. As soon as I pointed it out, dunk. Is my microphone actually on, by the way? Yeah. Okay. It's probably me talking that's driving them away.
No.
But yeah, so I worked in administration. I think that's one of the reasons why I have kind of taken on board a lot of the administrative tasks now. So the accounting side of it, the paperwork side of it, anything like that.
All the boring stuff.
All the more, the bits of it that need to be done.
The really important stuff that needs someone who's really organised.
Yeah, and I've been doing that for about, shall I show my age? About 20 years. So I've been doing that for about 20 years prior to that. Possibly a little less, if I'm honest. But it was all, the background I come from is more healthcare. So I'd worked for various places doing admin. So I had worked mainly in the public sector. So I had worked for a prison. I had worked for for the probation service, and then I worked for the hospital a couple of times in the area. So basically, yeah, it was more healthcare and more kind of naughty people, etc.
Naughty
people like prisons and stuff. So it was that kind of thing. So this is a lot different from that, but to be fair, it's a lot more chilled out.
Yeah.
Because you can imagine working in healthcare, it's flat out. Well, you did anyway, didn't you? But a different kind of aspect to it. So I was also, unfortunately, I started off with the, I wanted to work in the back office. So I was like doing data input, I was doing filing, I was doing all those sort of general admin tasks. And then I fell into a job that kind of, I got shoved to the forefront of everything and was a receptionist. And I did that for years. And I don't honestly know how I managed to get through it now because it was stressful. But then I think when, because we were living in, before the flat we live in, we lived in a house and we were living there for a while.
A very big house in the country.
Well, in the city, yeah. And basically, I think at the time we were both a bit despondent about the jobs we were doing. So it was like, well, what can we do then? And you had already sold during some maternity leave some figures.
Yeah, about 20 years ago.
Yes, and we kind of looked back into doing that kind of thing, didn't we? But we didn't think at the time we could make it a job.
No.
So I think when we actually had a good look at it and thought, can we make this into something where we can actually earn money? It was kind of a case of watching other people's videos, having a look round. I don't think actually at that point we were watching other people's videos.
No,
though.
we weren't, no. We didn't know that there was such a thing as resellers on YouTube.
No, I mean, I've been watching at that point YouTube for years, but it was mostly like abandoned exploration, which obviously you could make into a job because there have been some who have done that, but it wasn't really something that I think, we could make into a job, maybe.
Yeah. I only ever watched music videos on YouTube.
Yeah. So anyway, looked into it as far as setting up a store on eBay and stuff like that, and we went flat out with that, because I think you stepped away from your job first, didn't you? And then I stepped away from mine shortly after. And we just were working, I think at one point it was 12-hour days, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
But we were working at home. So actually it wasn't as bad because you could take breaks whenever you wanted. You could do whatever, sometimes in the afternoon I would nap. like a child, like a kid, I'd go
or an old woman.
Or a woman, I'd go and have a nap for an hour on the sofa, and that was that was fine, I could do that and then wake up and go straight back to doing stuff.
Shall I say a bit about what I was doing?
Yeah, sure.
Before we go into the next bit, is that right?
Yeah.
I started doing reselling when I was on maternity leave. I used to work for Nationwide Building Society and I was on maternity leave. This was about 20 years ago. And just to make a bit of extra money because you know what maternity, well, you might not, but maternity pay is awful. So I wanted to make a bit of extra money. So I bought a load of wrestling figures and sold them on eBay, which was quite new at the time in the UK. Made quite a bit of money. And was able to kind of use that for bits and bobs for the kids and that, and well, the kid at the time, and that kind of thing. Then I kind of did it off and on, sold bits and pieces, but not really like buying to sell. And I qualified as a nurse, worked as a nurse, mental health nurse for about 6 years. And during the pandemic, the coronavirus and things, it just got absolutely unbearable. I mean, the pressure, the politics and all that kind of stuff. I mean, NHS, fantastic organisation, needs more money. And I just couldn't do it anymore. And I thought, what can I do instead? I'm not really qualified to do anything else. And then my dad, my wonderful dad, gave us a big, massive tub full of Lego.
I was going to say that's what kickstarted
That is what kickstarted
isn't it? Yeah, we got a huge tub of Lego from your dad that was all sorts of mixed sets. And I think the aim at the very start with that was to just kind of pick it apart and put it in the sets. And then I think we, at the time, were like, oh, God, what do we actually do with this?
See, Leo says probably found it in the skip. No, what it was is he went to a yard sale and this lady was selling all of her boyfriend's stuff because he cheated on her. So she sold this massive tub of Lego to my dad for about 20 quid. And there was about £800 worth in there easily, full of minifigures and stuff. So she was just revenge selling all of his stuff, and we profited from that.
Yeah.
That'll learn him.
Well, I mean, to be fair, my experience of eBay was, I think I signed up for it back in 2003 or something like that on my own account. Sorry, you stopped me from twirling.
Yeah.
So yeah, twirl. So basically, yeah, I'd signed up in 2003 and I was buying a lot of stuff. Leo on chat said, God, I wasn't even alive then. Correct? Yes. But yeah, so I signed up and I was buying a lot of stuff. And back then, I don't know whether you've ever looked in the weird section on eBay now, it is far more tame, possibly far more tame than it really used to be, because there was all sorts of stuff on there. And I just remember going absolutely bonkers, like buying all this weird and wonderful stuff and then just completely regretting it because it was all useless. And I remember one of the first things I bought was this was a mouse mat that this woman had been making her own products. So it was just like mouse mats and mugs and bags and stuff like that. And the only thing that she had done to personalise these to her own brand was to paint her bum. And she had actually sat down on a bit of paper or something like that, and she called it arse art. Now, I don't know whether she's still doing this. If you're out there and you do your arse art, then just let us know. We can kind of
Arse art.
we can you know, advertise the poo out of your arse art, really. But but we, you know, we can do that. But yeah, so this was what I bought, was stuff like that. And I remember buying candles and all sorts of stuff that I never would have used, but it was just this novelty.
It's like when Temu started in the UK, wasn't it? Everyone just went mad and bought loads of stuff that they didn't need.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was really dirt cheap, and then they raised the prices, didn't they? So,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of my first forays into it. But then I started selling on there as well. And I remember, because I was in my early 20s and I was a bit lazy, if I'm honest. I was working, to be fair, as well, but I would often forget. So, like, I would sell stuff. I mean, just to let you know, we don't do this anymore. We don't forget.
No.
But back then I did. And so I was selling stuff. Like, I was selling bundles of CDs, bundles of VHS tapes, bundles of whatever I had that I wanted to get rid of, and then forgetting to post it. So I ended up with obviously loads of emails, and I think I had, like, I remember my first negative feedback on my personal account. It just felt like really, it felt like a massive injustice, you know, because I sold, I think I sold a blouse, and it was like this really starchy material, and it was at the time, I think, stored under my bed. And I lived in a flat with a load of cats. So basically this blouse, I dragged it out, took the photos and everything, completely forgetting that you need it to be good condition, didn't wash it, and it was just covered in cat hair. Not that, actually I would have examined it and I don't think I would have noticed.
I suppose when you're living with a load of cats, you probably would have saw one or two and thought, oh, that's fine.
I probably saw one or two, and because I lived in a flat, like, it was just like, yeah, whatever, you know. And I sent it, and my first ever negative feedback on eBay, on my personal account, was creased and covered in white hairs, you know, this blouse. And I just remember being, like, enraged, you know. Like, well, of course it would be creased. It was posted. You're going to get creased in the post. And as for the, you know, and blah, 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 blah. So there were emails, you know, sending emails to this person who bought it and stuff, and was just like, not horrible ones. Just like, well, why didn't you mention it to me before? You know, before leaving the negative.
That is annoying.
Because then what can happen is I can put it right somewhere.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway,
so the way we became resellers is through the big Lego tub.
Yeah, it was post-pandemic. We were both fed up of our jobs, and we wanted to do something that meant we could be our own bosses. If we were poorly, we could not call in sick, but we wouldn't have to put on our poorly voices and face the gauntlet of management. You know what it's like. They don't, you know.
Yeah.
They don't always believe you and they make you feel bad, don't they?
Yeah, and I think at the time I was just, we both were a bit despondent with what we were doing. So we were kind of like, well, if we do this, we don't have to answer to the big bosses.
The man.
Yeah, we don't have to answer to them because we only answer really to ourselves. So we will get out of this what we put in. And that is one thing about doing this, especially on eBay, is you will get out of it what you put in.
Yeah.
So if you, like we started off, 12-hour days, we put in so much work and we built that up, and obviously the feedback builds up, all that kind of stuff builds up.
You get return customers.
And we started getting return customers, and we were really pleased with that because it's like, well, people obviously like the stuff, so that's good. But I suppose the one thing that we fell into, maybe, there's people out there who have an everything store. Well, ours was a little bit more nichey, and it still kind of is, because we're not an everything store. We do actually, we're more kind of towards just the toys and collectible stuff, but that could include collectible T-shirts, couldn't it, and stuff like that. So, and obviously now with eBay, not charging, the fees for the, for clothes, it's probably a good time to get stuck in finding stuff like that, really.
Yeah. Hello, Beano Tubes. Hello, JP.
Hello, Chris.
Oh, bless your heart. That's a really nice thing to say.
Infectious personalities.
Infectious, like coronavirus.
I'm sure you could go to the doctor about that one.
Get some antibiotics.
Yeah.
No, but that's really nice to say. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to watch us live. Oh,
yes.
God, we've suddenly got 15 people.
Yeah.
Just trundled in.
Yeah. Lunch breaks have started, you say?
And that is one thing about being a reseller, is you can have a lunch break whenever you want, and you can go out for lunch. You can do what you like,
If you have a doctor's appointment now, I don't know whether you've ever worked for a company where they will basically, what I can only describe as fart about. So if you say to them, I've booked a doctor's appointment, they'll be like, why? Why didn't you let us know this? You were going to be doing this. And some of them can get quite funny about stuff like that. So you do have to kind of tailor-make it around them, whereas with this, you don't need to tailor-make it around this. You can go out to your doctor's appointment or your dentist appointment, if you're lucky enough to get one, or anything like that, and you can get it done, and then you can come back and crack on. Yeah. And there's nobody looking over your shoulder going, why did you leave your desk for so long?
Yeah.
Why have you been gone so long? You realise time is money. So, we realise time is money doing what we're doing, but we also realise that there's other things that we need to do as well, on top of it in life, that need to be fitted in. Yeah.
And if we don't fancy working on a Tuesday morning, we can say, we'll just go in later on and work till a bit later. As long as we get done what's done. We set our own hours. What are you doing? We set our own hours. We work, we do work long hours. Sometimes, we do still work long hours. But, as long as we get all of our work in, we could leave early, can't we? If you're in a job and you see, if I saw all my patients in 5 hours, I couldn't then just go home. I still had to stay until, the time that I was in for.
I had this job for a small hospital. What, you going anywhere nice, girls?
I told them that we're on holiday. Yeah. We're going to London to see a concert.
So I had this job basically where I worked in a small hospital in a small town, and they had like a walk-in centre thing there. So I would go and work sometimes Christmas Day, and that was rotated. So I think, it was like you work 1 year, you have 1 year on call, and then the third year you definitely have that year off. So 1 year I was working, and I remember that I had been told that basically I think the minimum that somebody had patient-wise come in on a Christmas Day was one person in 6 hours, because they were 6-hour shifts. So one person in 6 hours. Now, I wasn't intending the first year I did it to break the record, but apparently I did. And I sat there for 6 hours and had not a single patient. And I just remember thinking this feels like, because there were 2 nurses working and there was me, and we were all just kind of like having little buffet tea, watching film, or waiting for people, because let's face it, in that environment you can't create work. I mean, they'd look down on me if I went and found the porter and then created work, you know what I mean? they'd kind of discipline me for that, wouldn't they? So there was no way there's no way you can generate work.
No.
In this job, you've constantly...
There's always something to do.
So you're not hanging around. You're not going, oh, God, what do I do now? Like, you know when you're at work and you do an 8-hour day, and sometimes by like...
9:05.
9:05 in the morning. So sometimes by about lunchtime, you feel like you've done everything you can do.
No.
And then well, maybe not as a mental health nurse, but, you know, there's some jobs where you get to that point in the day where you go, what now? And then you're constantly running up to the manager, what can I do now? What can I do now? And you end up doing the really sort of humdrummy kind of minute jobs in the office. And that's kind of, how it feels. But with this, you don't get that.
But I was teaching my son Leo this. Never look like you've got nothing to do. Always look like you're busy. Pretend that you're busy. Always find something. Just stand there folding things or, you know, whatever. Because otherwise they'll come across and they'll tell you off for not doing anything.
If you work in admin, the best way to look like you're busy is to just get some paper and just spread it out on your desk. Even if it's blank, just get paper and spread it out on your desk. Because then you at least look like you've got a lot of stuff to be doing. And so if anyone comes to ask you a question, they'll look and they'll see all this crap all over your desk and they'll move on to the next person.
Or just have a look on your face that makes you look really unapproachable.
I
like
can do
you
that
are
all the time.
You do have a bit of a resting bitch face, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, but so did Scarlett O'Hara.
She invented the resting bitch face.
So just look unapproachable. But anyway, we don't have to do that here.
No.
Because if we can sit around and have a chat if we want to. You can piss about like we do. And no one's going to tell us off for it. I mean, we did have a wallpaper fight the other week, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, no one's going to tell us off about that.
No, not particularly.
What's Jen's excuse? She works for herself and her desk looks like that. Oh!
It's so that she looks busy, you say.
Yeah,
so
so
when
Alexis,
I come over and be like, you can just, you're busy.
Yeah, busy. busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
What's the song? We're busy doing nothing? No. But what I like about being a reseller is that I get to spend time, I did get to spend time with my my son, hello Leo, and get the housework sorted out as well. Spend time with you, which is always very nice, most of the time. But just have the freedom to spend, to do normal family stuff and not have to be a slave to a job, really. Do you know what I mean? Like when I worked in the NHS, I'd work 9 to 5 because I was in the community and people don't have mental illness after 5 o'clock at night. But I'd go home, I'd be so exhausted that I literally didn't want to hear anyone talking because I'd heard the most horrific things all day. And when I went home and the kids were moaning about this, that and the other, or my other half was moaning about this, that and the other, I just did not want to hear it because I'd heard it all day. But now I feel like I'm a bit more patient at listening to stuff. I mean, my son might not agree with that. But, yeah. Am I just waffling now? We've got 20 people. Hello, 20 people.
Hello,
in
20
the chat.
people.
Why don't you all introduce yourself?
Yeah, let's get a little bit of a chat Q&A going, shall we?
Hello,
about
Chris
reselling.
Tyler. How are you doing?
You see, in the previous 2, we prepared notes. So we had kind of a thing where we talked through our notes. But this one we were like, we'll be fine, So, yeah, give us some questions, please. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fed up of doing all the work easy because we don't have to. I mean, you need to...
That's why we do reselling. We're fed up with work.
We have got 549 people as subscribers. So if we could just get one more to get it to 550,
Hello, Karen, who's just joined.
Hello, Karen.
And Chris, who joined a little while ago and said hello too.
Yes.
So, yes,
hello.
Hello. Yeah, so... I think at the very beginning we juggled with a lot of systems of keeping stuff stored, mainly under the table.
Hello, Linda.
Hello, Linda. So mainly under the table, shelving units, some of those plastic utility units, you know, like in the garage or bathroom, whatever. So like stuff like that, and it was a little bit all over the place. So we kind of had to start skewing like, you know, crazies basically at one point, didn't we?
Yeah. Behind the kitchen cupboard to the left, and I'm joking. It wasn't quite that bad, was it?
But we were using...
Hello, Molly's attic.
Hello. So we were just using all sorts of stuff, weren't we? Like cardboard boxes, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here, it's better here in the office because we've got dedicated storage space, and we did have a good old sort out the other day of all our boxes. So we've got room now to put things that need cleaning, ready to list, things that are ready to list and go on.
Yeah, I mean, an update from a previous video was just the fact that we have now gone through everything except the big item shelf.
Yeah.
Really? So that has all been done. And it's all definitely, we did consolidate the archive boxes.
Do you work in silence or TV, radio, YouTube? When you work with someone like Alexis, there's no such thing as silence.
And to be fair...
You witter, don't you?
You witter as well, though.
We do.
It's going to be a domestic now, look. But basically, yeah, I mean, we are witterers, aren't we?
Yeah.
We will witter about everything.
But we don't have YouTube on. We normally have the radio on, don't we? A bit of Heart FM.
Yeah.
Or depending on what mood we're in. I like to listen to Adele, whereas Alexis likes to listen to cattle decapitation. Is that what they're called? Alexis likes death metal.
Death metal and black
metal. And I
like
Adele, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I like something with a bit more kind of, sort of a potential to make your brain come out, basically.
But I do watch the occasional YouTube video when people are live and that. I think that's always good to do.
Yeah. We have in the past also listened to podcasts, actually.
Yeah, we like the Osbournes, don't we?
Yeah, we did listen to theirs. Yeah. So why would we then recommend reselling?
Because it's awesome, isn't it? I mean, we had a comment on one of the videos the other day asking if we're going to be wanting to upscale the business and that. And when I said no, the guy seemed a bit like surprised as to, you know, why. But we're happy as we are, aren't we? As long as we make enough money to earn a living, which we do, we're in it for the freedom that it gives us, not to make a million. You know, we're never going to have a massive warehouse or anything like that because it's just not who we are. We're not. Do you agree?
Well, I think the point he was trying to get across was that he felt that our overheads, like as in rent for this place we're sat in, so the office, rent for like housing, all these, hello Jan, by the way.
Hi Jan.
So basically all these overheads that we have, how could we then possibly make enough profit to pay other stuff like bills and all that kind of thing? I mean, for a start, at the end of the day, like upscaling, we do keep finding these other little avenues of being able to sell. We do keep going out and about and finding bits and pieces. You're getting a lot from your dad at the moment as well.
Yeah, he's having a good old sort out, bless him.
So there is all kinds of stuff like that. I've obviously still got that Lego behind me, but that will be week after this one. So next week, as it's more commonly known. So next week, I will be getting stuck into that Lego stuff again.
How dare you? That's my son you're calling a spanner.
Next week I will be getting stuck into that because I did a lot of it and I got I think it was about 20 sets out of it. But I realised from going through the figures again that basically I could go back and look at it again, you know, for more sets. So it is just finding, I think, for, the stuff that sells well.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things, we haven't actually got many auction pickups the last few weeks.
No, because it's just, we've looked, but it's not been worth our while, unfortunately.
No, and the one thing that we do find is with the auction, we're left with a lot of Detroiters. A lot of really cheap stuff, which I managed to sell quite a lot of, you know.
Hello, Zoe. Is it Zoe or Zoe? How do you say it?
Zoe.
Zoe.
Hello, Zoe.
Hello, Zoe.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, we were going to do a car boot sale on Saturday, but because we'd both been poorly, we were still kind of feeling run down from that, so we ended up not doing it in the end.
Yeah, it was mentioned in a previous, on a previous video, we were going to go to the car boot, and sell, but yeah, I managed to shift quite a lot of it anyway, didn't I? To be fair, I think there's a couple of trays of it in the storage unit, and that's it. I didn't get up for the car boot. To be fair, it was the night before.
It was the
or
night
the day
before we
before I
decided,
said about
yeah.
like, what's the point?
No, we were both run down, and we didn't have to because we were our own bosses. So we thought, nah, we won't bother.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about doing this, one of the sort of I would say a good tip for this is that you need to be able to manage your own time.
Yeah.
If you can't manage your own time, work with someone who can.
Yeah, and that's why.
That wasn't barbed before anyone said
that looks like that you can't manage your own time, so you work with me. Is that what you're saying? That I can't? I can't manage my life, but I can manage my time. Which, yeah, but you'd be late for your own funeral, wouldn't you, honey? Pretty much.
Did you take offence to that, did you?
No, I didn't.
But
we'll have words later.
Oh, not again. I'll end up on a poster at this rate, won't I? But yeah, basically, it's just be good at time management, really, or to at least try to organise time.
Yeah.
Don't try, and especially don't try to do too much in one go. Because it's not going to work.
Yeah, you've got to be disciplined with yourself. I mean, just because you can do what you want doesn't mean that you always should.
Somebody's just asked, is Chris, has the change of clocks helped?
Well, yesterday morning I woke up feeling amazing and I couldn't figure out why until I realised that the clocks had gone back. So we'd had an extra hour in bed.
Yeah.
So that made me feel wonderful, but didn't affect the business at all. Do you have a target number of items you want to list every week? Yeah, we do. We try and list 5 each a day, don't we?
Yeah.
But it doesn't always happen. Sometimes one of us, because you're sorting the Lego out and that takes forever.
See, we were talking about this a couple of days ago, which is that the algorithm needs feeding, which obviously we all know this, don't we? You need to be feeding the algorithm with new listings and all that. But the algorithm doesn't have an actual... you can't quantify the algorithm. It's like, if you could...
It's a mystical beast.
Yeah. If you could say, okay, the algorithm needs 12 items every 2 days for it to tick over and get your sales up. If you could do that, you'd know exactly what you were doing. But that algorithm is basically I don't know...
It's an enigma like Morrissey.
It's an enigma. It's one of those things where basically you really, really do not know... So you just have to guess at it. So we decide, I think to begin with, we were doing 15 things each, which obviously in the real world, when you have other stuff that you are sorting out as well, if you're doing 15 or the other person can't do 15, so you try on your own to do 30 a day, that is an awful lot of stuff.
That is too much. Unless,
of course, you have a business where you have all sorts of stuff that's easy lists, It's not really going to work too well, is it? With also the amount of cleaning and fixing up and stuff.
Research as well, that takes a long time, doesn't it? So it's not just that, if it was just a listing, it'd be fine. But, we have got things that need researching, cleaning, fixing.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to bring the vinegar in again for the guitar. Just remembered.
Yeah, we're going to eat that later. So Resell Anything or JP has said, I did... try 15 a day but struggled, so went back to 10. So it's good to know that 15 a day is really more a superhuman thing. And because it is a lot.
We're not in a position to hire anyone. We don't make enough to hire anyone. Sorry, Leo. Because you probably we'd have to pay you minimum wage and then you'd earn more than we do.
Yeah, and that would be our profit.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I know there's you can kind of outsource that, so you can pay people to actually list for you, but they don't have the item in front of them. So I don't know whether you have to give them all the information. They just do it in bulk. But
I have no idea.
I mean, obviously this is not something we would want to do anyway. But yeah, but that. Is that reminder going off?
That's probably that your Amazon delivery's here or something.
So Chris has said, do you end and sell similar? Now here's a cheat. right? Here's a little cheat the system. So we were saying about get 5 things on a day. If you're struggling with that, if you have struggled, and say you've got 100 listings, right? Well, just as for example, and you have got, say, you've got time off, like we have, right? So time off coming up, but you haven't got the whole day, because we haven't got the whole day today to list for all that period of time, is end sell similar and list them to go on over that period of time.
Yeah, so you stagger in the sell similars rather than just, doing it for the same day.
Yeah.
And that has helped, actually. That has, when we've done that in the past, because we haven't had time to do fresh listings, that has kept sales, coming on through. Karen does 5 to 10, yeah. I think that's probably about the optimum number, isn't it? 5 to 10.
And obviously between the two of us, we do 5 each, so that kind of evens it out nicely. If, say, like when I do the Lego, I haven't got time to be doing like listings one day or something, then you would maybe do a few more, or you would just stick to your 5. As long as you feed the algorithm, just get a few on. So JP has said they thought about hiring someone for 2 days and get them to draft 60 listings, but doubt it would be financially worth it.
Probably not. It's best just to do what you can yourself, isn't it? I mean, unless you're like, the bigger resellers, not mentioning any names, who can afford to hire people. I think if you're just doing it for lifestyle, then what's the point?
Yeah, and I know there's some channels that I've watched where they have made a massive success story out of it. But I mean, just bear this in mind. I think for a lot of them is they have got not just they don't just rely on eBay. It's not just eBay. It's a lot.
Whatnot.
Yeah,
Vintage,
so much else.
Materia, Etsy. There's more. Depop, is that one?
Depop, yeah.
But we don't do clothes, really, do we?
There's TikTok shop as well that you can sell on. And there's so many things that they do that are above and beyond just eBay, really.
But another tip I would say is don't judge what you do on everybody else, because just because other people are hiring people and making, like, this weekend was awful, we only made £700, it's like...
Yeah, comparing yourself to other people is probably, doing this would make you disheartened very, very quickly, and it would make you desperate to match what they're doing. But just remember, there's no one-size-fits-all rule with this. It depends on how quickly you work, how much time you have, how much money you have to invest, where you're working from. There's so many different factors that everybody has different that actually, you can't just say, oh, well, this person on this channel who's super, successful, they are doing this all the time. That's what we need to be doing. And then you find that actually you don't know where to start with it. It's just like, but to be fair, I would recommend reselling, because you do have the flexibility, It might be to start with, like we found, you have to work really, really, really hard to set it up.
But it's like that with any new business, though, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, but I would recommend it from the point of view of it provides you with that flexibility. You get a bit of money out of it. If you're doing it, especially on the side of something else, you're gonna get a bit of pocket money or whatever out of it. Top your wages up, whatever it is, You buy a new car.
Karen says, do you sell on Facebook Marketplace? Not with a business. I have done myself previously. Just like things knocking around the house that I don't use anymore, but... No, I don't really like the idea of people coming around my house and stuff, and seeing actual people face to face. It's
and
antisocial.
That giving out your address as well. Feels a bit weird, doesn't it? And there's a lot of scare stories from stuff like that as well that you hear, which kind of, I suppose, for us. Well, as ladies, might scare the absolute Jesus out of us, to be fair.
I mean, my dad, another story about my dad. I went to see Mum and Dad yesterday, and he'd sold a TV, DVD combo thing on Facebook Marketplace, and the lady said it didn't work. So she got her son to return it, and because her son was like a big lad, my dad felt like he had to take it back, even though the lady had removed the stand and lost the remote control for it once she'd brought it. So, hey, it's Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah, we sorry, Dave has just said didn't know you were on. Yeah, we've moved this from our normal Wednesday to a Monday
because we're gallivanting on Wednesday.
Yeah, because because we're going away for up till Friday, so yeah. We're not going to be about, are we?
We're going charity shopping in London.
Well, we're not just for the charity shops. We're not all about the charity shops.
We're going for a concert.
Yeah, we've got a concert, and we're also doing the sort of more Amy Winehousey type, because we're going to be in that area. So the more Amy Winehousey stuff, really, aren't we? Going wander through Camden Market.
Yeah,
and
I've
stuff
never
like
been
that,
to Camden Market before, so that'd be nice.
Yeah. Yes.
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 What
am I going to do on Wednesday now? Do some work.
Yeah.
I think, Dave, you should start your own YouTube channel.
We could send you this stick.
Yeah? That's a fancy stick.
Yeah. So you could put this on the desk next to it, keep you company.
Oh, a load of messages just came through. GGG unit. Yes.
So GGG unit. Could you just, because obviously I'm wondering what it means. Just tell me what it means, because when we looked it up, it was like a hip hop sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Unit is wasn't it Eminem's band or something?
Yeah, something like that. So what does it mean?
Yeah, we're not cool enough to know what it means. So could you tell us? Yeah, we do need deep pockets in London. I mean, we might not buy anything in London, but we'll definitely have a little look.
Vinyl Guardian will be in Camden 2 weeks' time. I tell you what, then we'll leave this somewhere in Camden.
We'll leave it behind Amy Winehouse for you.
And then what you can do is, when you get to London, right, find it, send us a picture, and you will win it.
Yeah, Karen, I do miss the holiday pay. That is.
Yeah, God, yeah.
But getting holiday was always a nightmare, because you were made to feel like, all right, in my job, when you requested holiday, you were made to feel like, they were doing you a favour.
Yeah.
Whereas now we can just, decide, let's go to London for a couple of days. And we don't have to ask anyone's permission. So, yeah, we don't get any holiday pay, and eBay sales do suffer when you put the time away on sometimes. But it's the freedom, isn't it, more than anything. I mean, while we're away, if everyone in this chat would like to go and buy an item from our shop, just to keep the sales up,
Our sales will be on whilst we're away, so that would be possible.
Well, you could all go and buy us a coffee. That'd be very nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, please. We don't get paid for doing this YouTube at the moment. We're very close to getting advertising thing, but even then, it's only going to be about £1 a month or something.
So JP said I had to book all my holidays in January for the full year. Yeah, I've worked for companies that made me do that, and basically I think it was a case of like at one point I wanted regular breaks from work just because. So basically I was having to book my annual leave at regular intervals and use the annual leave up, and then I think I only had a little bit left. But the thing is, you can't, if you're working for a business, which obviously isn't, not for yourself, for a company, the fact is that if there's something last minute, can't do it.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you phone in sick, which I wouldn't recommend. But, you can't really do last minute, can you?
I'm not
Oh, my
that
God.
Out. That's filth, Dave.
I mean, okay, now I'll explain. God, I'm going to have to explain this really carefully. Okay, so this is ridged. If you were to do that with it, you would end up in hospital.
For her pleasure. For his pleasure.
You might even get splinters off that, to be fair,
probably.
so I wouldn't recommend it.
Ooh, make sure you go in the good mixer. Amy used to hang out there, and Blur did. In fact, most bands did. Have a gamma pool in there.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
And a Diet Pepsi. Because we know how to live.
Diet Pepsi.
I'm a bit gangster rap fan, and it's just my way of showing respect. GGG unit scores is my way of saying well done, that's a bargain. Oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you for explaining that.
I mean, I'm not cool enough to say it, so I won't, because it'd be really cringy. Hey, Lainey.
Okay, imagine having to say that to the hospital about this. I'll show it again just in case anyone's missed out on this. Right, so imagine going to a hospital and having to explain that. you know, use your imagination.
I'm sure they've
really.
seen worse.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
What did
about
JP
that.
say? As a certified nurse, Jen does not advise sticking totem poles up the rectum. Well, I let my my registration lapse,
Oh my
so
god!
it doesn't matter anymore. Do what you like. I'm just a normal person.
And we've got Lainey as well.
Yes,
as
hello,
well.
Lainey.
Hello.
Oh, everyone. Lainey, put the link to your fundraiser in. Lainey's doing a fundraiser for a fantastic charity, Stroke UK. And there's loads of activities going on and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, there's a quiz Friday, which we are going to be involved in.
With Nick and Andrea Hills.
Yeah, and that will be at 6 on, I think that's on Lainey's channel.
I think so. Lainey's probably better to say any of that stuff. But if anyone can donate to that, it's a really worthy cause. We're going to be donating some bits and pieces for the auction as well. Where's Lainey gone? But yeah, anyway. But yeah.
Yes. Because I think we're at the moment, we are trying to figure out, because we were going to put something in that auction and we are trying to figure out what to do. But we have got an idea. We have got something, haven't we? Possibly.
Oh, okay. Everyone go along to Lainey's channel and subscribe. And there's links in her video for the thingy. Yeah.
So if you go over and have a look, there was a live stream last night which we tuned into as well, which was also about some of the items, wasn't it? And what's going to be happening over the weekend, because there's like a 3-day kind of
there's a big
event.
raffle with some awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't read the instructions properly and donated a tenner. Meaning to buy raffle tickets, but I didn't do it properly, so Alexis went and had to go and do it properly.
Yeah, so basically, I went on and got, I put £10 down, didn't I? And you have to put raffle in the comments.
Yeah.
But I think you just put something to the effect of such a worthy cause.
Such a worthy cause.
And then read the instructions.
Because I don't read. I just do things. I don't read them through because I've got no impulse control.
So Melanie has said yes, there's a raffle, auction, games, quizzes, etc. the 1st to the 3rd of November. So there you go. That's what's going on.
Pop the links in your channel description and I'll add it for you.
Yeah, so Leo Mod now has a formal
You've got a job
Leo
now.
Mod. Leo Mod is going to be on the case with that one.
Yes.
So there will hopefully be a link there. But yeah.
Has anyone in the chat not subscribed? Because it's really annoying me, but we've got an odd number of subscribers and I'd quite like to be up to 550 so I can sleep at night. And you don't want me not to sleep, do you? So please subscribe.
It's not to sleep anyway.
No, I don't.
Sometimes, so, it's unavoidable, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So does anyone else have any chat or questions? Because I think we've pretty much waffled as much as possible now.
I actually quite like this not planning stuff.
Yes.
It's,
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Secret Carper.
A secret carper.
No, don't unsubscribe, JP. Someone's just subscribed now and it'd just start it all over again and it'd be a nightmare.
Unsubscribe as well.
Oh. No one unsubscribed.
Okay, sorry, I was just reading a comment there. So Lainey has put, you weren't the only ones who didn't put raffle in that. We had the same issues last time, but when I tried just having one, just giving for the raffle, it was worse. So
it was my own fault, but at the end of the day, it's a good cause, so I don't mind. But yeah. But yeah, we're off to London, so
London.
So there'll be no live on Wednesday.
No.
That's why you've got us today. Yeah, that's it basically, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, can you think of any other kinds of stuff why you would recommend reselling just before we go?
Just basically, it's a nice lifestyle because you can do what you want when you want. It's hard work, but if you're prepared for a bit of hard work and you can do all of the work, fit it around your lifetime, then it's for you really, isn't it?
I mean, I have to say, like, as well, people who do it on their own, they actually sort of start their own reselling business on their own, you're going to be probably, I don't know, because we do put about even into it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we share the profit. But I suppose it would even out maybe a little bit. like somebody who works on their, I'm starting to waffle now, aren't I, to be fair, but somebody who works on their own has to then put twice as much in to get something back out of it. But I would say, like, for reselling, I would recommend it, but I would prefer to be working at home.
Yeah.
Doing it, if I'm honest.
The reason we can't work at home is because we live in a tiny flat.
It is the size of a shoebox.
And there's a rental crisis at the moment, so we can't find anywhere else to rent. And we're not
Where's
in a
the
position
violin?
to buy
Smallest violin,
at
look.
the moment. So if anyone knows any landlords in the Norfolk area,
then don't send them our way, because
see, that's a good thing. If you're not a people person, and some people aren't. I'm not a massive people person. Even though I used to see people as a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good working on your own because you don't have to interact with people.
Yeah, and being a receptionist, you can imagine, it's a constant bombardment of people, all the time. And obviously, with me not being someone who can, to not say too much about it, the fact is that constant socialise makes me very tired. So basically, if you have people come in and it's all the time, it's bombarding you with, all this stuff all the time, I just would go home and be like, dunk,
Yeah.
And I was absolutely knackered by the end of that. Whereas this, if we don't want to talk to each other, we don't.
No, we can sit for hours and not talk to each other, and it's not because we're annoyed or anything.
Vinyl Guardian says, I'm a people person, I just can't eat a whole one on my own. Depends how big the person is, really.
Leo's popped the link for Lainey's charity page in the... Excuse me, I bet.
Yes.
In the chat.
So that is actually a link to the charity video. So that will, so that will take you through to it, all the details on that one. Yes.
And we have done Lainey's quiz before. We didn't do it live. We found it like a year after you'd done it or something. We sat at home and did it, didn't we? The music quiz when we first discovered Nick and Andrews.
Yeah, we did it at the very beginning. Do you know what this shows how starstruck we get about stuff. But basically, when we first started watching Nick and Andrew, we were sat there going, oh, wouldn't it be nice to meet them? They seem so nice and stuff like that. And then I think we've met up with them twice, and it's just a bit like...
I was a bit starstruck the first time. What did you say at the first time? It was like we had a big TV in front of us.
Yeah, because they were sat in front of us, and it felt like watching them on a giant telly. Like, just kind of watching them.
Yeah,
on
and they're
YouTube.
so lovely. They're just as lovely in real life as they are on their videos. And Jeff is gorgeous. We love Jeff.
We see the good thing about it is that, we can go charity shopping with other people who sometimes, nick the stuff that we're going to buy. No.
Yeah, if anyone else in our chat wants to come charity shopping with us, in Norfolk, we don't travel.
like one of the old Lonely Hearts ads.
Yeah.
Don't travel.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're open to, appearing in other people's videos, collaborating and charity shopping and all that stuff. We're not too bad. We're a bit antisocial, but...
Yeah. So shall we end on this particular comment? So this is from Jan. The absence of people is the prime attraction for my desire to become a reseller. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, anyone who's worked with the general public knows that they are...
Difficult.
Difficult.
Is a nice way of putting it.
It's a nice way of putting it.
And I don't know. I mean, we do have to deal with the public as part of what we do. But the nice thing is, about eBay is you can block people. Whereas you can't when you're working face to face or, in an environment with other people. We don't get office politics here either, which obviously if you work on your own, you're not going to get office politics.
There's no middle-aged woman, usually called, I don't know, Sharon or Karen or something, who's going to be bitchy to you because it's a Wednesday and they are in the mood to be bitchy. So
and a lot of people, they do bring their, because I mean, I know in some contracts, like in the NHS, there is a clause in, I think it's for doctors and nurses and stuff, where you do not bring your personal life into work. So whatever is going on, you do not bring your personal life in. It's a clause, actual clause in the contract. And I just remember the amount of staff who used to bring it all in.
No, not you, Karen. Not all Karens are bitchy. No. But there's that thing, isn't there, where people say that they were being a bit of a Karen.
Yeah, well, that became a massive meme, didn't it?
Yeah.
At one point.
No. If you're watching us, you can't be bad.
Well, you know, it was all to do with two-tone haircuts and all sorts of stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's, you know, but whatever. So Vinyl Guardian, enjoy Camden. What band are you seeing? We are seeing the Libertines, and they're there over several nights. So because it's I believe it's where they're from. So they're from London, you know, and I think they're there for like 3 or 4 nights or something, which is quite nice.
Yeah, but we'll check out that pub, Dave.
I mean, I
for
can't
that.
remember what it was called, but
It'll
it was
be in the
a
little
good
chatty
mixer.
thing,
It was a
wasn't
good
it? Yeah.
mixer, wasn't it? So yeah, we can go in there. Yes.
But thank you everyone for watching. Like and subscribe and all that stuff.
And put notifications on for stuff as well. Yes.
Go and have a look at Lainey's video for the charity information if you can. And that's it, basically. Yeah, I think we've waffled more than enough now.
Sorry, just final. Karen has said, it's good to be your own boss and you can't blame anyone else.
You think? No comment. Anyway,
yeah.
Right, love you all. Take care. Have a lovely week.
Love you all.
Love you all. I hope your sales improve if they've been awful like
hopefully.
ours have been. Pens and paper for the quiz. Yes, we
will do.
We regularly do quizzes on YouTube, and we have a designated pad and pen for the purpose because we're sad.
Yeah. Yes, so basically we'll have a normal video going out, I think. Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday, I'll pop
anyway?
up the video when we went charity shopping with Nick and Andrea. I'll pop that up on Wednesday.
One for Friday.
And then,
showing our crap sales.
Yeah, and then Friday we'll show you the dismal amount we made over this weekend.
Yep. Yeah, but by the sound of it, we're in the same boat as a lot of other people, so that boat's going to sink pretty quickly, isn't it? Anyway.
That's end on a positive note, isn't it? Anyway, take care, everybody, and we'll end this now. All right. Bye.
Bye.